Welcome to the channel, everyone. This is where we play with AI and how it affects architecture. I'm Clayton Vance. I'm an architect, and the whole channel is dedicated to understanding the tension between technology and tradition and whether humans can better create a built environment rather than having technology do it. And so, as of right now, technology isn't that great and super useful. One of the things that we do with everyone when we're trying to gather inspiration images is typically go to Pinterest, pin a bunch of stuff, look through it, sift through it, then we discern and kind of distill the essence of there's various design ideas and then turn that into a design that our clients actually like. And so what we're wondering is, can we actually put text prompts into some of these AI programs and have it generate for us inspiration images, saving us hours and hours of time? So far, it hasn't been super useful, but let's see if we can do two of the more popular styles. The style we're going to try in this video will be a transitional style, and so it's neither modern or traditional, but it'll be the modern Dutch, and that's kind of what is all the rage these days. A modern aspect of what differentiates these rather than traditional punched-out openings is large, broad, open windows in the front. So let's see if ChatGPT actually understands what style this is and see if it can actually produce stuff. But let's find out, shall we? I'd like you to create for me an image generation prompt for a modern Dutch style home. I wanted to have two flanking gables with a central front porch, asymmetrical in design, with a garage on the left-hand side with a shed roof coming off and an extra projection from that gable. I don't want the two end gables to be any more than 20 feet wide, and I want parapet walls with large windows on the fronts of those gables. So let's see what you can produce.
That sounds like a fun design to visualize. Here's a prompt you can use for Midjourney to bring that modern Dutch-style home to life. And if you want to add any more specific elements or change anything up, just let me know.
AI is always so positive, isn't it? Just so positive, so positive. It's like, I want to murder myself. Oh, here's how you can murder yourself. Thank you very much. Oh, if you want anything else, let me know. I mean, seriously, it's bizarre. So this is from the previous version, Midjourney. Gonna enter that prompt in there, see what it does. This is from the previous thing. If you want to watch that video, you can watch the one prior to this. And we're entering the new prompts for the new thing. All of that in the prior video was seeing if we could come up with the federal style homes with parapet walls, and it could not do it. It failed. And so now we have Midjourney producing. Oh wow, it's actually doing it. It is actually doing it. Huh. And here's a crazy thing, is this particular style is all the rage these days. And why? Because that's what happens to styles. Thanks to Joanna Gaines about 10 years ago, modern farmhouse was all the rage, and that just slowly went out, and this is the one that is the present rage. And so one of the issues is that we want to design a home that is timeless and that will stand the test of time and when no one knows when it was built. Unfortunately, with almost everything, because of how styles transition like this, everyone's going to know when these homes were built. But it doesn't mean they're not pretty. These homes really are beautiful. And here's some elements. So this actually gave us a front elevation concept sketch with large windows. That one actually looks like a garage door, but maybe those are windows, I can't tell. I don't know where the front door is. I'm assuming it's that with this big, tall, two-story window system. However, it's almost looking like it's trying to come up with this bay orangery and a porch, but not quite. And so it's got, I don't know how to interpret it, but they aren't more than 20 feet wide. We've got some really nice large window systems. We've got beautiful, they're not full parapet walls, but enough that I'll let it slide. Asymmetrical design. And in all reality, not the worst thing I've ever seen. So, not bad. Failed. This is not a modern Dutch. This is a modern Gothic in terms of proportions and stuff. Nope, missed it. I'm just gonna skip. Missed it again, even worse than the former one. Even worse than the former one. It's like it put all of its effort into the first one and then decided, I'm taking a break the rest of the time. Because these are not modern Dutch at all. This is the only one that's modern Dutch. So Midjourney, pretty impressive. And then complete fail, complete fail, complete fail. Are there like 4 different robots inside of you that aren't talking to each other or something? Oh, man, Render, you really suck. Standard McMansion doesn't make any sense, doesn't work at all. Nope, dumb. We're not playing with that. If you want me to actually critique why this isn't working, because it has traditional elements, and what this really is AI trying, and for most of us, this is our best efforts, most of us, because we don't understand or have been taught the various languages of architecture and what makes architecture really feel authentic. This has all of the wrong elements in it. This is not modern Dutch at all. This is, nope, not at all. No sense even going through it. Stylistically, missed the mark 100%. Which means that out of 3 different render engines, or not render engines, out of 3 different image generation programs, only one picture in one program fit the text description. That's wild. That's mind-blowing. So I don't know why this one failed so bad. Very strong. I mean, what happens if we say, I like this image and very strong, and just see what happens, and very subtle, because it literally is the only one that actually worked. Wow, they did this weird swoopy roofy thing. Okay, I actually buy this one. This is a little bit more modern. That's what I call modern Dutch. It has an asymmetrical, like I said, asymmetrical design, so it's got a small little swoop as it comes down with extra projection down here, and it has these concept sketches that are associated fairly legitimately with the 3D rendering. And the reality is I'm not super offended by this either. I don't know what's going on with the window. I think it took the asymmetrical thing a little too far, and it looks like Frankenstein was having his forehead stitched up on that little architectural detail. But what I did like about this one, in terms of brainstorming ideas, boy, you get lost in how many there are, is this particular gable and how the front porch integrates and interfaced with it. I think that was actually pretty clever. Oh, now we're getting McMansion-y, and this rendering, or this image, has nothing to do with this image. So, gable upon gable upon gable, we avoid that like the plague, because that begins to look super McMansion-y. This one's also looking McMansion-y because we have this tiny gable next to this larger gable. This doesn't integrate as well as the other one. The other one is just better. It does have parapet walls-ish. So, okay, slightly better. I like that porch on the side. Comes down the swoop on the back side, which that can be a garage in the back or something, so that's beginning to make sense. Not horrible. A bad version of the earlier one we were looking at. Oh! Someone just pulled out Minecraft and started having fun with the windows. Wow. This is what I talk about if you put too much lipstick on the pig, it doesn't work. That's why I like this one. So this is like old school Pioneer era home with a gable side and a shed roof side with a front porch. Though we have this almost looks like a chimney that would be for a fireplace in that room that divides the two. And the reality is I don't hate this. I'm not entirely sure what's going on right here relative to here. That little detail is slightly better than whatever that is going on there. But this bay in the front, the windows, they seem to work. I don't know how thick that floor is or what happens to the trim, but I guarantee you a floor can't actually fit between those two windows. Not offended by this for an entry at all, but interesting. I actually might steal some of these ideas. So if you come across something that you like in Midjourney or one of these programs, and then you continue to iterate on that particular theme of that particular image, you might be able to come up with some things that you actually do like. And then you could take it to a home designer or architect and say, hey, I want it to look something like this. Take from this what you will. I think it's absolutely fascinating. And as you begin to explore architectural styles and what these things could potentially look like, I think what we really want to do is make sure that we begin to engage with the historical precedents that generated the iterations and variations on those particular themes. What was it in the Dutch style that generated those super steep gables in the first place? The brick patterns that they used. How did they open up the glass? Because everyone knows in the Netherlands that it's just dark and gloomy and feels like Seattle, and so you want as much light as possible. And then how does that influence the modern interpretations of the original thing? And when we can piece and splice all of those things together, I think we're going to come up with some really creative iterations and make a more beautiful world. So join us on the next video where we will discover another architectural style and see if these image generation things actually succeed or fail.